Welcome to day 4 of the 28-day practice with the topic active listening. So, if you have received today's email and you've been reading through it, you might have read that your job today is to be in a conversation with someone, to fully pay attention to what they are saying without any inputs, without agreeing or disagreeing. And especially on this day that I'm recording this, it's September 11th, 24 years after 9/11. And the crazy thing, especially talking about this topic of active listening, is that a variety of people have their own experiences. So I'm sure if you were in a conversation with someone about today's day, there are, and I've been seeing a few people sharing today where they were, what they did. So if you lived during that time in 2001 on September 11th, you will have something that you remember exactly where you were at that time. And so when we have, for example, these very specific days, it becomes even harder to just listen to the people, because we as the individual who have experienced something, well, I personally have not. So it might be a little easier for me to talk about this topic than maybe for some of you listening to this. So if there's multiple people that have a personal experience with this, either being personally involved or know somebody, it is really difficult for us to just listen, because there's a lot of thoughts, emotions, a lot of sensations happening at the same time, where it makes it hard for us to listen. So interestingly enough, this action, this task and the day 4 of engagement is asking us to do this. So what is it really? Why is it important? So I want to take a moment here and just ask yourself, when you are in a conversation with someone, let's say something very significant happened in your life, be it at work, be it with your family, be it with you personally, maybe you came across something that really got you moving in a direction and you want to share it with someone. And here you are, meeting this person, and you are so either thrilled or just, finally, there's somebody I can tell this to, right? So imagine that moment. You're coming to this moment, there is this person, you're like ready to go, and you're like, oh, let me tell you this. And you're telling them the story, telling them what happened, be it exciting, be it joyful, be it sad, whatever the situation may be, but something that you have a strong experience with, and you share it. What happens then? The other person might be the perfect person to be there for you. They might sit there and listen. And depending on what that topic is about, if it's a topic that you might not be so interested in, you might just listen. You also might change the topic to something that you're more interested in. Maybe you also tell them very clearly, I'm not interested in this. And so whenever that happens, when we're taking away the moment of the person speaking, if we're not allowing that person to fully express themselves, and I put yourself in that situation where you are the person telling that experience. So you're sitting there or standing and you're sharing it, your whole heart, and you're telling it, and you're being interrupted. Maybe after the first sentence, maybe after 5 sentences, maybe after 10 minutes, right? But you're not finished yet. You still have like a lot of things to share about it. there is this sensation of like, that sensation of like, I want to say something. And so this practice of listening is really putting yourself in the other person's shoes when you are the one wanting to say something that is really important to you. To just be there, physically, actively being there. You as the speaker will notice if the other person isn't fully there. So the practice today is really to just be present, listen to what they're saying, noticing how you're feeling. Maybe they're saying something you completely disagree with. Maybe it's something that they are upset about and you see yourself as the person that they're upset about, even though it's not you, but you can see that who they're talking about is a reflection of maybe who you are. And that feeling as a listener does not feel good. So in this action item, in engagement around active listening, is to become aware of my sensations in my body. So obviously now we'll take a moment. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath. So you become aware of your sensations. You're putting yourself in the shoes where somebody's talking that you, let's use disagreement, because that's really, really simple, right? So somebody tells you about, let's use political views. It's just something where you know there is something you know about somebody else or something that is opposing of your own perspective, right? And we're not talking about anything specific. You are in your head deciding which one that is, okay? Whatever side you are on, I don't care. It's you. So you're taking a deep breath, you're listening to this person you're disagreeing with. What do you feel in your body? Usually it's like, especially when it comes to these topics, in our hearts, something we just can't be standing behind. We're feeling this anger, maybe this sadness, this frustration coming up, and we're just taking in what they're saying. And there's probably a nudge inside of us that wants to interrupt, that wants to point the other person in the right direction, that wants to tell them what you're thinking. But pull yourself back. Stay in your heart. Continue to breathe into your heart and exhale out of your nose or mouth. Continue to breathe in and to breathe out. So if you had your eyes closed, you can slowly open them up. And so how does it feel, but from the imagination to moving through, no reaction? Does it still stay there? Chances are they are. Maybe because there's not a direct engagement, we don't have to. So we can just be present. And maybe your mind is going through all these scenarios. It's calculating and making judgment of like, do I really want to be friends with this person? Do I really how is this possible, right? And our job as an active listener is to move our thoughts, our personal perspective away, put them aside somewhere in a nice place where we feel good, and just focus on that person's experience, just listening to them without giving any advice, without finding a way to make them feel better. Just let them speak and let your body be okay to feel the sensations that comes through your body without reacting or responding, by just becoming acquainted with that sensation in your body without feeling like I want to get rid of it, but by just accepting that it's here, as uncomfortable as it may be. And that is right there is where active listening begins. So next time, or if you haven't done it yet and you're still wanting to practice active listening, be there for them. And maybe you're lucky, it's not as challenging as the situation that I brought into the space right now. Maybe it's a little bit less challenging. Maybe it's just how their day went at work. Maybe you're not interested at all, but maybe, just maybe, you can open up a little bit of your heart and put your thoughts aside. Open your heart and just welcome this person with whatever they have to share with you with open arms. Make them feel cozy, like feel like that you're hugging their talk, right? So they're talking with you, and it might feel like they're talking at you. Maybe it feels a certain way, but just remove that judgment and really stay with, how does my body feel? What sensations are arising? Can I just be present with whatever the words my person in front of me is speaking, without putting them into categories of right or wrong, good or bad, agree, disagree, but just by the words that they speak? Because the benefit of this is, one, that the person in front of you will be able to release their whatever, their joy, their sorrow, release them out in front of you. Be completely at peace with themselves. And are ready, and this is the real key, right? Are ready to listen to you fully and completely. Maybe not with the same attention as you are, because they might have not gotten my email. So you want to just be aware on how it is on the other side. Not to tell them what to do, but just to notice what the difference is of the quality of that conversation. Can you sense a little bit more depth, a little more awareness of your sensations and thoughts? And most and foremost is that, is there going to be an exchange afterwards that feels more full? So with that said, we are going to conclude here. So that was just a brief explanation, a visual on how to move through these more challenging moments of listening, because we're not even talking about expressing our thoughts and perspectives at this moment. I mean, you probably will, but the idea is not to. So try your best to literally just listen to the person. And if the person's like, why are you not saying anything? Why don't you comment on it, right? Then you're like, you want me to say something? You're asking for permission to respond to what they said. Because if they're asking you, they are ready to hear what you have to say. And so then that real exchange is going to happen. So thank you so much for watching this, and let me know how you're feeling about this. What are your thoughts about this? How's the practice going? And you can respond to the email that you received with your thoughts. You can also reach me in other forms and let me know how it goes. So thank you so much, and see you next week.